Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Kaylin, and I have a friend today. This is my dog Potato, and he has given me a good sniff, so there'll probably be lots of snorting in the video. Yeah, so today I wanted to talk about how to make frugality and like frugal living into a positive thing, because I think sometimes people can talk about it as if it's negative, and like you can kind of get into this poverty mindset where you feel really overwhelmed by it and hopeless. And I think if you can kind of try and change your thinking about it, it can really help you to live like a fulfilling life and to discover the things that are actually really great about living in a frugal way. And I feel like frugal living for me I see it as like an opportunity for creativity rather than like a setback. And there will be times where I am freer with my money, like, and I just kind of lose track of my budget, and then I will have a kind of like wake up call whenever I check my bank statement, and I'll be like, okay, I need to be good now. But at first you kind of get this feeling like, oh, I just want to continue what I'm doing, and you feel a bit like reluctant to be more careful about everything. But once you get into the way of it and you come up with ways to make it feel like a game, I think it can make it into something really fun, and it's like a little challenge for yourself, and it gives you a sense of purpose as well. And that's why I am feeling really excited about my no buy year. Like, this might be the first year in my life that I can't wait for it to be January, because usually I'm not a fan of January. I like Christmas time, and I always feel like January is quite a hard, kind of bleak month in certain ways, and I think we don't really help ourselves with that because we put pressure on ourselves in January to like suddenly go on diets or make big life changes and create all these goals, when actually we should really allow ourselves to be in hibernation mode. And yeah, like, I am trying really hard to create reasons for myself to be excited about January and a new year coming, because I don't think all the fun should just be saved for December. And in some ways, like, December can be quite overwhelming and busy, so it's actually kind of like a treat to get to like slow down for a while and just focus on being at home and enjoying the winter season and having a rest as well. So this morning I went for a long walk with Potato after I dropped the girls at school, and I went past, like, I kind of started doing the same route every day, but I'm trying to vary it a little bit now, just because I think it can become too routine if you just repeat the same walk over and over. And I like the route because there are a lot of, especially at the minute, because there are a lot of Victorian houses that have really like beautiful Christmas trees. And walking past the houses with Christmas trees all lit up really cheers me up. And there's one in particular that I almost like to make a daily visit to because I just think it's so pretty. It's like a ceiling high real tree with very traditional decorations, and it reminds me of, you know, one of those trees that you would have seen with the candles on it in Victorian times. Not that I was wandering about in Victorian times, but you know what I mean. And it just looks more like a classic tree. And I know that I'm never going to probably have a real tree myself, because I think I still have some form of kind of like residual trauma from my dad hoovering if a single pine needle fell off our real tree whenever I was younger. So I just associate it with a lot of hoovering and stressing, and just getting it home and getting rid of it after as well. It's just a whole thing. But I like to walk around and appreciate other people's trees and the effort they've put into decorating them. And I like to go on a Christmas drive with my kids or a walk, but I also have started to really like doing it myself. And I just have a thing about Christmas trees. Like, I just love them. And we went to a Christmas tree festival last night, and it was so nice. Like, I didn't know that it had been on for 3 years in this church. And basically all the trees were decorated by local like community groups and shops, and they all had like a theme, and I'll share those with you in a clip at the end. And they had like a little Santa letter writing station and a post box for kids and a grotto, and they had like little craft stalls, but they were like reasonably priced, like the kind of craft stalls we would have gone to as kids at like a a church event rather than the ones now that are all kind of overpriced. And we got the kids got hot chocolate and a bun, and I had a cup of coffee, and my partner was there too, and we entered a draw to guess a teddy's name, and the girls got something from the Lucky Dip for 50p, and it just felt like an old-fashioned kind of Christmas fair, and something I would have gone to in my own childhood. And I feel like if we weren't living in a frugal way and I wasn't constantly looking for things to do that are free, I never would have come across it. And I was talking to a friend over coffee the other day about how I had deleted the Facebook app off my phone because I'm kind of trying to do a social media detox. But I then remembered when I was talking to her that Facebook, the one reason that I liked having it is that you can find loads of free community events on it, and sometimes I'll miss things now when I don't have it installed, so I've reinstalled it on my phone just for that purpose. I'm not going to scroll through it mindlessly, and I'm not going to use it for anything else. I'm just going to use it for searching for free local events and adding them to my calendar. And it was just a really nice surprise to come across that and find out that they did it, and the kids really enjoyed it, and my partner seemed to enjoy it too. And he's not a Christmas person, and he probably wouldn't admit to that, but he picked out a favourite tree, and I thought he seemed in a good mood after it. Usually he just tries to hide from Christmas, which is probably hard to do in our house because I'm skipping around shouting it's Christmas every 2 seconds and decorating every inch of the place. Yeah, so I think that if you just view it as a chance to find things that are more creative and probably more fulfilling, because I think sometimes the events and things like that are expensive and quick to book and you don't have to do any hunting for them and they're well advertised are usually more commercial. There's an event taking place in Belfast, and it's the Coke lorry from the old Christmas ads. I think it's coming to Belfast, and then they're giving away free Coke, and I had kind of thought about going to it with my dad, but I also, part of me doesn't want to because I just think we'll get stuck in a crowd in town. Parking near there will be awful. It'll just be really loud and overwhelming, and then you'll just get a free bottle of Coke and that'll be it. We could just get Coke ourselves somewhere and go to a Christmassy cafe or something like that, or go to a Christmassy pub and get a Coke instead. I might suggest that actually. But I just love to look for free events. It's one of my biggest hobbies, and filling our calendar with them, even if we're not going to go to all of them, it just makes me feel happy. And there was something I read the other day about sort of shifting your mindset with frugality and thinking of it as a positive thing, and it said if you receive a bill, instead of immediately thinking negative thoughts about it and feeling despair and hopelessness over it, even if obviously it could be a huge financial worry, instead of immediately going to that place in your mind, try instead to think, I'm grateful for the bill because I am grateful for the service that I got because of it. I'm grateful for my electricity. I'm grateful that I have running water. And I know that you might have to kind of trick yourself and into that mindset, and it might be hard to do at first, but I just thought it is a really good way to try to look at things differently and appreciate what you have. And I think if you can kind of be positive about things like that, it doesn't spiral out of control as much, and you don't get into as much of a kind of hopeless financial situation, because it's hard to kind of attract negativity to you when you're in a positive mindset yourself. And I think and at times in my life whenever I've been really negative and down about things and focusing on my worries, they do definitely seem to grow. I feel like you get into this kind of trap in your own head where you're imagining all the worst case scenarios, and then they kind of keep materializing, the fact that people say bad luck always comes in threes, and that even those days where I kind of had one of these days yesterday actually, but it was everything kept spilling onto the floor, and it's the more you get irritated by it, then the more it seems to happen, and it's I don't know, it almost feels like you're creating it after a while. But I just think being delusional about it, your finances, can only really do you good because, and I don't mean that in a way like running around and using your credit card everywhere for things that you shouldn't be buying and then causing yourself financial stress. What I mean by that is to kind of play little games with your mind and try to convince yourself the positives about being frugal, and the more you do that, the more it will kind of feed into your frugal mindset and you will feel inspired to do things in a frugal way. So I just feel like that's really helpful for me. I know it might not be like for everybody, but I find that that really helps me. And like being honest with yourself about the figures and things like that, but then coming up with little techniques and like a plan for how you can make it better rather than focusing on I'm so worried I have no money, like what are we going to do, and just letting your thoughts kind of spiral out of control, because it's not going to make the situation any better. What are you growling at now? There's people doing work across our road in the house opposite still, and I am so looking forward to it being finished, because at the minute I can never get parked outside my own house, and yeah, they like block the whole street. And part of me yesterday was like, I feel like parking diagonally in the middle of the road just to annoy them, but then it would annoy all the neighbours as well. But yeah, I hope you have a really good day, and I will share some more Christmassy things that we do over the weekend, and I will make another video soon. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Bye. And another thing that I was just thinking about was I really love to get lost in projects when I'm in a frugal kind of phase of life. Like, I kind of want to live frugally all the time now, but like in the past, whenever I have really kind of like managed to rein in my spending and been very like disciplined about it, it's usually because I redirect my focus to other things and I'm not obsessing about money. And I find painting really helps with that. And I was kind of wondering what you think about, does anybody have any experience with Shopify? Because I have art prints listed on Etsy at the minute, and I feel like they take a huge cut, and I know a lot of people avoid it for that reason. And I was just thinking about, is it worthwhile opening like a shop of my own for that? And then I was just going to show you some prints that I have done. I try to do like cheerful prints, so I just want to like put out a little positivity, and I'll show you some of them. This is a gingerbread house, and this is a Victoria sponge. It's called Sunset Sponge because of the background. And this one is called Distracted by the Sea. This is one I have in my room called Flowers in the Night Sky. I have the canvas in my room. And then this is Bright Towns, Mango in the Morning. And this is Tilted Town I think it's called. Okay, this one is iced cookies, and this is one that I did whenever I moved into this house. It's called Happy Cat Finds Its Palace, because I got a cat ornament that made me so happy when I first moved in, and I was like, it's found its palace because it's moved into its like favorite house now. This is Imperfect Pumpkin, and this is Sunny Side Up. So I'm not going to go through every single one because there's kind of a lot, but I'll show you this one because it's Christmas cake, and this is the one that I sold last week, so that made me excited. And I'm just wondering, is it worth putting them on like a different website, or if anyone has any ideas about that. And I'm working on a turkey picture at the minute that I'm going to put into a print. So yeah, just thought I'd share those with you. And I think that getting really engrossed in something you love to do, it distracts you from spending money, and then you don't even consider it. It's not like you're not even having to fight the urge to spend because you're so busy with something else. So yeah.